But my big item right away from the get-go was, hey, this guy, assuming it was a guy that took Jacob, lives nearby, because he came with two different cars in the same day and he cased it out. And I maintained that story throughout all these years. And some of these police people accused me of changing the story. And it's like, God, just crazy stuff what they do. You know, they're trying to cross you up.
Right.
And I go, no, I didn't change my story. And all this stuff goes on. But I'm telling them, the guy he's got to live within 20, 30 miles of the place, if not closer. He came back in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, well, how do you know it's the same driver? And I go, I've lived here all my life. When two cars drive in the yard like that, hey,
Yeah.
and fast forward to the end of the investigation, and Henrich has got the FBI, all these people buffaloed and saying, oh, he just happened upon the scene, and he didn't spend any time. It just happened. It just, like, right away, they should know the guy's freaking lying.
Yeah.
He was there that day casing it out. He was there even before that, as far as other kids seeing him and that whole thing. So anyway, but when they took all my stuff, I never got the cards back.
Okay.
They returned only what they wanted to. And I never really went public with that, but I'm missing stuff. And the stuff that I'm missing was anything that had to do with names of officers that, did something. And I wrote it down. That kind of stuff was not returned.
Okay.
And I found that fascinating.
Right.
But anyway, so about 2 months, they called me in, and I thought it was just another try to help them with this car theory. And I went in for hypnosis one time. But then they called me in, and these two characters, and I can't remember if they were FBI. I think they were Stearns County, but I'm not sure. And they were really mean to me. And it was because of a comment I heard in school. They were blaming it on me, saying that it was like November 11th, and something's going to happen on November 11th because Jacob was 11 years old or something like that. And I heard it from somebody else, some kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said it to a secretary, and they must have called it in,
Yeah.
and they called me in, and they were very nasty that time. I remember that. And I thought, wow, and they didn't really, I don't remember them saying you did it. But so to answer your question, it wasn't until 2004 February
Okay.
where they wanted to call me Captain Jensen and Kenneth McDonald of this BCA. Pam Jensen was Stearns County. And they called me in, and I thought, okay, they're probably taking another look here, new sheriff in town and that kind of thing. And I went in, and probably 2.5, 3 hours later, I walked out just almost laughing. I was laughing out loud, just going, what? You got to be kidding.
Right.
They called me in, and they basically said, another weird thing about this, the interview apparently wasn't recorded. And I go, because all this years later, no, they just sort of have I don't even know if they didn't have a transcript of it. It just weird stuff, because I said so much in that interview that made them look like fools. I mean, as far as the police coming on our property, when my parents came back this following Saturday after the Sunday Jacob was taken, they had free access to everything on our farm.
Okay.
They went through everything. I was playing trumpet at a wedding that day, and before I left for the wedding, and I let them do anything they wanted. They went through all my trumpet cases and my briefcase of music. When I left, they looked through my running bag, and I mean, they had free access to the farm. Another few weeks later, without even asking, they went down to our gravel pit and just dug stuff up, made a big mess, never cleaned it up. and left. What they did was just tear up all kinds of stuff that was junk from the farm and old gravel piles, and they just never put anything back in place. And then they left, driving their big cat across the field. My dad still talked about it until he died, that how they did that. And then they came on the farm several more times over the years, and they never we never said, hey, where's your warrant? We never said why. Well, we would ask why, but my dad usually would just say, yeah, go ahead, look. Like in the gravel pit, I'm cleaning up stuff, some garbage stuff, metal, recycling metal, and somebody calls it in apparently and says, hey, he's digging something up, and so they come and check all that out, look through my garage again, and I think that's between 2004 and 2010. When she talked to me, I only talked to her that one time, 2009, and I came out of the health club, and she was right there, just coming down the steps from apparently where she worked. And, oh, Dan, can we talk? And I realized who she was. I had to think twice. Oh, that's Patty Wetterling. And I said, sure, we can talk. This is 5 years after 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sit down in the mall, and I'm telling her my side of the story, thinking, and I can tell she doesn't know even half the story of what I witnessed. She really seems to be completely blindsided by what I'm telling her, how bloody stupid the police are. And I'm telling her point blank, how many times that I had nothing to do with it. And this is what happened that day. This is 2 cars. And the person I said, the police are completely messed up. They're idiots, bloody idiots, I called them. And so this goes on for 45 minutes, talking to her, reassuring her I had nothing to do with it, telling her what I did witness.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother has an office in that shopping mall. And it's at night, there's nobody around much. And he comes out of his daughter comes out of the office, and she waves to me, and I wave back. She goes in the office and must tell my brother, there's somebody, Dan's out there. And Rick comes out there, my brother, and there's a guy apparently behind us in the balcony watching us. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, he says, Dan, there's somebody up above you listening. And we look up, and the guy just runs. And Patty acts all like she knows nothing.
Right.
And end of story, basically. I said, well, I realize, I should have said to her, you're wired, aren't you? But I just assumed that she maybe it's recorded. He recorded it. And it was. I never heard the tape. I saw a transcript, which wasn't accurate. And so that kind of goes over, and I see Patty again about a half hour later in the grocery store, and she walks right by me without saying a word. And I realize this is not good and stuff. And so what Heinrich did, and all the stuff that even with the lawyer, when we're doing this lawsuit thing, you go, this guy was no dummy. I mean, he might appear to be but he played the police so easily, so well. And now he's making a deal with the police that he gets a measly 20 years for killing a kid, and who knows how many others.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a deal with just an excellent, highly skilled liar, and they're making it sound like case solved, all done, neat, put away. They're all standing up behind this facade of congratulations to us for solving the case. And they didn't solve it. Other people solved it for them and brought it to light. And there they are, just big, huge hypocrites. Every one of them. The FBI, the BCA people, the Stearns County, and they're going, it's all wrapped up. We found Jacob. I still can't trust them at all. But okay, let's say it was Jacob and they found this shirt and it really, okay, and he told the truth, they found this body. But now can you believe they're making this deal and they had all this stuff. And here we have the Stearns County attorney saying, we couldn't do anything else. We couldn't do this because we didn't have enough proof. They had ample proof for charging this guy with everything. And they didn't even include me, the witness. They didn't, this Kendall lady is laughing on the radio every time she was interviewed about it. We have nothing else to say about this because it's all wrapped up and we just didn't have the proof. And it's just a facade of lies or maybe just incompetence. All those years where they had me like they did, I believe they knew I never did it, but they were doing it to just make it look like for his reelection, like they had something, and they were just playing a political game, you might say. And I don't know how they got access to my emails. They had to get a warrant to do that. Right. I never saw a warrant. All this stuff, what they were able to get away with, I still don't understand it. In the process with my lawyer, I never really got answers about that kind of stuff. It was like, well, that's not in our department or whatever. It was like, don't worry about that. We're going, but so they turn their number one witness into a suspect.